is Calvin Zhao, and I'm currently a senior at Brooklyn Technical High School. And I attended youth leadership in China in 2024. So I'll just be sharing some of the experiences, like why I joined, what I learned, and what stood out to me the most. So the reason why I joined YLC 2024 was because I really wanted to meet new people, especially out of state or like internationally. So I feel like this was a really good program for that, as well as their mission really aligned with me, like one world, one future. I feel like that's a really powerful slogan that everyone should follow regardless of where you're from. And it was just really something that stood out to me a lot. And as we went to China, we talked to a lot of different local high school students. The picture that I have. But we took a lot of pictures together, we went on different tours, we learned about historical sites from Beijing, Chengdu, and Shanghai. So I'm just gonna share some highlights from each city. So in Beijing, we connected with some local high school students from Beijing. And so we went to the Forbidden City, we went to this Theo Park, which was really cool. We learned about the history. And in Beijing, we tried a lot of the local cuisines, stuff like that, which really stood out to me. And the main thing was during this trip, I made a lot of new friends, especially from China. I know one of them, shout out to Robert. He was one of the high school students over there. It was really funny. We bonded a lot. We talked about different foods. We played different games together, and we just really connected a lot. And I still have WeChat to this day. Sometimes we send each other messages, which is really fun. And also, there was this teacher in Beijing as well. Her name is Miss Yang, and she teaches AP Chemistry, which I took last year, and we really texted every single day. We talked about AP Chemistry, talked about different stuff like that. That's really long lasting. It's relationships that you make through this trip that really just is long term. We don't really just stop talking to them because of the program. We don't stop talking because the program is over. And in Chengdu, we had our host family. I was with my host family. I was with Lincoln. It was my age. She was really interested in pharmacy, which I am also as well. And we bonded over that a lot. We had our host family day. We really experienced what it would be like to live as a Chinese person for a day. And I feel that was really important to me because although I'm Chinese American, you don't really live I don't really want to say authentic, but a Chinese person living in China, you really live as a Chinese person in America. Having that day to me in China was really special to me because it really showed how this was the life that my mom lived. My mom who grew up in China, this is the life that she would have lived, which was really really stood out to me. And in Shanghai, we went to a local university, the East Normal University in Shanghai, and we talked to this professor who talked about global issues, talking about the future, how we could collaborate to tackle global issues. I feel that was really eye-opening, especially because you're hearing it from a Chinese professor, not from an American one. It's how much we share similar perspectives, yet a lot of times we refuse to communicate or collaborate because of perceptions that we have prior to knowing them. This is really important that we get to know each other. And that's my experience. I feel it was a wonderful experience, and it was everyone they should take on this training as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Layla Gibbon, but you can also call me Bai Layla. My Chinese learning journey began when I was just 3 years old, when I started attending a Chinese immersion school. And I've been learning Chinese for the past 14 years. Although my parents don't speak any Chinese or have any Chinese background, they've encouraged and supported me through every step of the way. For example, over the summers, my mom would make me Chinese flashcards using Google Translate, and my dad would buy online Chinese textbooks for me to read so I could keep up with my reading comprehension over the summers. After 10 years of attending a Chinese immersion school and taking Chinese classes at my high school, my Chinese language abilities were at an all-time high. And with the China Institute, I had the opportunity to expand my learning opportunities further. Last May, while in this very building, I competed in the Eastern United States Chinese competition. And one of the judges asked me a very simple question. If you win and can go to China, what would you want to do? Surprisingly, my answer wasn't to try some authentic Beijing Kaoya, Peking roast duck, or to climb the Great Wall of China. The first person who came to mind was my Chinese teacher, Cheng Laoshi, who I hadn't seen in years. So I answered honestly. If I win, I'd like to go and see Cheng Laoshi. And 4 months later, with the help of China Institute, I found myself in the same city as my Chinese teacher, competing in the 18th Chinese Bridge competition. Although we weren't able to meet in person, Cheng Laoshi sent me encouraging text messages throughout each round and even sent sweets to the hotel I was staying at. That experience reminded me of one of my favorite Chinese idioms, 有缘千里. Those who are destined to meet will find each other. The China Institute didn't just give me the opportunity to compete in China. It helped me connect with people from my past who shaped who I am now and today. When I landed in Beijing, I didn't feel like I was lost or in a foreign country. I felt like I belonged. I could talk with the guards confidently, I could understand all the signs, and listen to all the announcements with fluency. When I first saw the Great Wall of China, I was stunned. I couldn't even say a word. I was so shocked. Of course, I've read dozens of textbooks about the Great Wall and watched a lot of documentaries, but nothing prepared me for how grandiose it truly stood. I quickly realized that I was a little too out of shape to get to the very top of it, but just standing there, breathing in the mountain air, it really helped me realize how far my Chinese journey had taken me. It had taken me all the way to China, to the Great Wall, something I'd dreamed of since I was 3. The China Institute didn't just give me the opportunity to go to China. It helped me go to China to connect my past, present, and future. It truly helped me understand why I was learning Chinese, so I could connect with people all around the world. I dedicated my whole life to learning Chinese, and that's what the China Institute helped me do. I went to China and I was able to connect with people from all over the world. I hope one day to return to China through the college competition and studying abroad to continue learning and developing my skills, and to hopefully see Chen Laoshi again. Thank you to the China Institute for believing in me and opening these doors I'd never imagined before, and for giving me a unique experience that I'll carry with me forever. Thank you. This was a preliminary round that I competed in just downstairs last May, where there were 2 parts, a dancing portion and a speech. And the first round in Tianjin, China, which is just an hour outside of Beijing, included a written examination that lasted an hour, my speech, and a dance performance, where we went from 120 contestants down to 30. The next round was at a maritime museum, where we had debates about maritime technology and how to protect our environment. Then my favorite round was at the Lenovo Center, where we all had a round about AI and how we want our future world to look like. In this round, I had my own speech. It was 1 minute long, and we also collaborated with students from the 4 other continents to create a unique skit. This was the final round, where we were on live television, and I had a round where I was answering multiple choice questions, another round with a previous contestant and winner, and then a final round with dance and also a speech. These are some of the photos from my dance, and this was my skit that I performed with an old Australian global champion, and this was my final speech. Thank you, everybody.
The process of your competition, it was really insightful. So I have a couple questions. First, you competed with students from over 102 countries, which is incredible. Like, having so much diversity in one place is really unique to come across. But with that comes, cultural barriers. So I was wondering at first if it was hard to connect with your fellow competitors, and if so, how did you overcome this barrier?
Yeah, that's a great question. At first, I thought I wouldn't be able to talk with these people. I was in China for the first time. I was nervous, but it was actually breakfast that brought us together. We were in the hotel, and we decided we'd sit down next to this new family, and that's how I learned about their Chinese story. It was Chinese that connected us. We'd sit down, talk about our favorite Chinese songs, and that's how I got to talk with and learn more about other people's Chinese stories too. That really helped bridge our cultural divides. It was our Chinese language, love, really, that brought us together.
Great. From my experience as well, it's just like the small things that bring you together. So you mentioned songs. With my Chinese host student, actually, we bonded over a love of rap music, which was kind of really unexpected, but it opened the doors for like a bunch of other conversations. So adding on to the previous question, you touched on this lightly. How do you think competitions like these bridge cultural divides in what seems like an increasingly divided time?
Yeah, definitely. So I was in China for my first time, and there were students from 102 different countries, and I didn't know what I'd talk to with them. So the first thing that came to mind was about how we grew up, how we all love Chinese, why we love Chinese. So going to China was the first step. But even though these people were from 100 or so different countries, we were all able to connect, talking about our experiences, what our childhood was like. I think it was very important to have this dialogue and really talk about each other's learning experiences. I think that was something that really united all of us students together. So I think that was something that's very important. Even if you may have prejudices or different views, you can all come together and really understand one topic through the same perspective.
Great. Yes, dialogue is definitely like what's going to be the important foundation of, I think, the next generation and, diplomacy. You also shared with us some of your favorite memories. I was wondering what else you gained from the trip specifically. What was the most valuable lesson you learned?
Yeah, the most valuable lesson I learned was in the final round of the competition. That day we had a 12-hour-long rehearsal before the final, and I was writing my speech, which was 3 minutes long, with one of the previous round's judges. We all had our personal judge for the final round, and she kept correcting the way I pronounced a certain character, and I was like, yeah, I spent 14 years, but I couldn't pronounce that one character right. So I really realized that you can keep learning, even the basics, even the fundamentals, you have to keep learning and striving. And it really taught me that I could learn more about Chinese. Even the basic things, there was more detail and intricacy behind them.
Great lesson. That's really insightful. For students who may be interested in participating in the Chinese Bridge competition, we have a few here probably. What activities did you pursue during during high school related to China?
Yeah, so I was taking Chinese classes in my high school, but in my sophomore year, I was also a Chinese teaching assistant for a second grade class in my nearby Chinese school. So that was something that was very important to me. I was able to help these little Chinese learners grow and also teach them how I was able to learn Chinese. So that was something that was very important to me. But also my junior year of high school, so last year, I took 2 semesters at Princeton University Chinese. So that really helped me grow my Chinese, my linguistic abilities. So I think my tip for other students is to look into your community. There's always going to be maybe a small pocket of people who want to learn Chinese. For example, my high school hosts Asian Fest, which is a cultural celebration of all the Asian cultures, and there I have dance performances, I sing, I do the fashion show. Just connecting with their community is the best way that you can learn about these amazing opportunities, like China Institute's opportunities. So that's what I'd recommend. Look out into your community. There's always going to be a small pocket of Chinese learners.
Amazing advice. And lastly, looking forward as you head into college, how do you see the lessons that you learn from your overall process learning Chinese and then also the competition influencing what you do next?
Yeah, so the competition taught me to persevere, really. It was a difficult competition, but it was also immensely rewarding. So it taught me that sometimes you need to take a break. You need to breathe before the round of the competition, or breathe before a math test. It taught me how to relax a little bit, calm down, and really perform my best by just taking things a little slower. And also, in the future, I want to major in Chinese. And when I was taking Chinese classes at Princeton last year, I saw the overlap between 2 of my interest areas, Chinese and sociology. So I really saw how Chinese and Chinese learning can be applied to all these different subject areas too. So I hope to keep learning more Chinese and also applying it to current and global affairs.
Incredible. I especially liked the first part about how we can all take a deep breath, since in the hustle of our daily lives, it's always good to remind yourself to not put too much stress on yourself. So thank you so much to Layla for sharing all this, and it was great talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Presentation, having the dialogue, it's amazing. And also so proud of your teachers. Any Chinese teachers in the room today? Yeah, Ma Lao Shi. Thank you. And we all hear from their story, without their Chinese language teachers, well, they are not going to be entering this world. That's very important and transformative. And any parents in the room? Thank you all. Also, so important, the family support, give them the opportunity to be connected, whether it's their heritage or it's a completely different world. That's just lead us to the introduction of the programs. If I can have the next slide. Layla just mentioned the Chinese Bridge. We've been doing the Eastern region for Chinese Bridge competition for elementary, middle school, and college students for the past 2 years. And this coming end of April, April 25th, we will have the final here at China Institute, gathering the students who are learning Chinese language and culture for the past years from the 13 states in the New York Chinese Consulate region. So it is really the most important competition for students learning Chinese in these states. More information on our website. It's very important to keep the March 31st, the preliminary round in mind, because students are going to prepare some speech and also some cultural talent. And that's going to be on stage here at China Institute on April 25th. This is the photo from last year, all the students coming together. And we have one of them who's going to share her story later. So really, this is all about giving the platform, giving the stage to the students, because we are studying Chinese language here, and we also want to show what we have learned and achieved here. Next is Andrew mentioned we've been around since 1926. It's our centennial year. We've been taking high school students to China, youth leadership program. Calvin was talking about his experience. I'm also so happy that he got into Stanford. This is really speak to how important we are having these programs for our students. So this centennial year, our goal is to bring 100 students to China this year. But one of the programs is the youth leadership program that we are open to nationwide. Students from across the country can apply to this 2-week program, and they're going to intensely travel in China. But one of the many important connections they're going to make is to the culture, to the history, but also to the people that they're going to make friends with the Chinese students. So One World, Our Future, this is really the program for our students, for your future, and we welcome you to join us this summer. So that's the brief introduction of the programs that we are doing here in New York as well as in China. And throughout the year, we are going to do more programs for the young generation like tonight. I'm so glad all of you come, and my colleagues, we've been really preparing for this, and we look forward to stay connected and look forward to more stories that's going to be shared in the next half. So Andrew, I will give this back to you.
If we're alone together. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Aurelie. Hi, my name is Aurelie Choi. I'm currently a junior at Princeton High School in New Jersey, and I'm truly delighted and honored to be here tonight to share my experiences from the YLC 2025 program. It's so wonderful to see my friends and the chaperones who traveled with us across China. When I think back on this trip, I realize how much I learned about the culture, the language, and the arts, and especially the rhythm of everyday life. And along the way, I made so many new friends, some from across the country and some across the world. I still remember sitting on those bright orange chairs on the very first day, meeting people I've never seen before. People from Texas, California, Ohio, Michigan, Virginia, Boston, and New York. I had no idea that those strangers would soon become the people I laugh with, explore with, and capture moments, memories that I will carry from this day forward. If you open my phone right now, you probably find hundreds, maybe even thousands of photos documenting our excitement, our curiosity, and how grateful I felt to be part of the YLC 2025. From Beijing to Shanghai, Ningbo to Taiwan, Datong back to Beijing, every city held something new. There were the late
night conversations and the late night hangouts from people who quickly felt like friends in such a short period of time. The bus rides where we sang songs drenched with sweat, the marketplaces filled with the smell of xiaolongbao, noodles, cigarettes, and roast pork. The bubble tea runs, especially the classic milk tea. The TikToks we film at every stop, whether it was the beautiful sunsets, the glow of the city lights, from our hotel balconies, or just being our unfiltered selves. Meeting the international students was an unparalleled experience, the rooms filled with instant smiles, curiosity, and conversations about our daily lives on the opposite sides of the world. And yes, we were a little shocked by each other's school routines. These simple moments blurred the lines between cultures, making dumplings with our paired partners who became friends, being served with sodas and juice with ice at restaurants because we were American. Feeling the rhythm of Tai Chi, practicing calligraphy strokes that taught me patience in a way no textbook could ever. Standing before ancient landmarks and hearing stories of warriors and guides, and of course eating ice cream constantly because the heat was so intense you could probably cook an egg on the sidewalk in 5 seconds. We walked through bustling streets filled with motorbikes and cars, weaving through a kind of organized chaos that somehow felt exuberant and dynamic. And in the midst of all these cultural exchange, one moment stood out, the Student Innovation Forum. It was a space where Chinese American students came together to share ideas about global challenges and the future we hope to build. Standing in front of a room full of students from 2 countries, each bringing different perspectives, I presented my project, the Hydro Vault Panel, a solar-powered roofing system that could produce clean drinking water and electricity for rural areas. But what made this journey unforgettable wasn't just the food or the arts or the sights, it was the people. We didn't just exchange our cultures, we exchanged pieces of ourselves. We built connections that distance can't even erase. There's a saying that I learned when I first stepped into this building. It's a well-known Chinese proverb by a scholar philosopher, Wu Huanfu. From the Ming Dynasty, he said, "Better to travel 10,000 miles than to read 10,000 books." This trip wasn't just a visit to another country. It was a reminder how big the world is and how small it can feel when people meet with openness, curiosity, and kindness. Thank you to the China Institute, our chaperones, and to everyone who made this experience possible. And thank you for all being here with tonight and sharing these moments with us. Thank you.
And I am currently in the Chinese Traditional Orchestra at Columbia University. So we are a student club that focuses on performing Chinese traditional music. So the instruments that are in our hands right now are what is called erhu. R means 2. Why it means erhu is because it only has 2 strings. You can view it as like the violin in the traditional Western orchestra. Today I'm with my talented friend Stella. Stella is a PhD student at NYU, and we are going to perform 2 pieces today. One is called The Blooming Flowers and the Full Moon, 花好月圆. It depicts the wonderful nights of Lunar New Year. And speaking of Lunar New Year, does anyone know what is the year that is coming? What is that? Horse? Yes. And the second piece of music that we're gonna play depicts, it's called Saima. It means running horses. So that means that you will hear a bunch of different horses running in endless broadless field. Yes.
Yeah, welcome everyone. So let me reverse a little bit. We are the Columbia Chinese Orchestra. So we established at in the pandemic time, and now we already have a couple of years performing experience for the whole orchestra. And if you're interested, welcome to come to our concert. Every year we will have 2 concerts. And yeah, so welcome. And as Cassie just said, we will provide 2 pieces of music for Chinese New Year today. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy. The second piece of music, which is called Saima. So it's the horse race. Yeah, hope you everyone have the best wishes for the horse year. Yeah.
是 That's about it. 大家好，我叫蓝叶琪，我要分享我的时间在中国怎么样。我去中国的很多地方，但是一个就是长城。我喜欢长城，因为它很大。我爬得很快。Hello everybody, my name is Rezik, and I want to share about my time in China. I went to a lot of places in China, but one of them was the Great Wall. I liked it because it was big. And I liked climbing it very fast. 在中国，我也看到很多新的汽车品牌。这个品牌在美国和澳大利亚没有。有些品牌非常非常酷的，有些品牌一般。在中国，我也去天津。在天津，我们住在天津大学。在这里，我喜欢和我的朋友们一起骑自行车。In Tianjin, in China, I also went to Tianjin. There I stayed at the Tianjin Normal University. And I like to ride bikes with my friends. 我觉得我看到中国人看到很多小外国人在说中文，他们很惊讶，这个很好笑。在天津，我也去一个天津的家庭的家，在这里我们包饺子。I thought it was funny to see when Chinese people saw a bunch of foreign kids speaking Chinese. They were really surprised, and that was pretty funny. We also went to a Chinese family's house and made dumplings. 在这个天津家庭的家，我们一起包饺子，但是他们包的饺子比我包的饺子更好。在这里我也会帮我的妈妈爸爸翻译，所以这个给我自信。The dumplings they made were better than the dumplings I made. I also got to translate for my parents, which gave me self-confidence. 学中文很有用，因为你会和中国人以及不是中国人但是会说中文的人一起交流。我们孩子在安吉桥，我们来自不同的地方，但是我们所有会用中文交流，这样我们会有更多的朋友。学语言很好，因为你会更明白别人的世界和看法。这不就是我们交流的意义吗？谢谢大家。人有问题吗？好，谢谢。
my name is Jeffrey. We wanted to make this video to share our experience of the YLC program and the people we met. Yep. I'm from S Plus and I'm an alumni for YLC 2025. After my experiences in China, in youth leadership in China summer program, I was inspired to help promote and encourage my fellow peers to apply for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I hope more students from America will take this chance to see a new perspective of China. Thank you.